Hi, welcome to the Excited Education channel, the YouTube channel which brings you about mathematics and biology. I'm teacher Amy Chris, as usual. Now we are going to discuss about biology, and it is biology and health science for senior 1. This is lesson 3 and is about biology, laboratory safety rules and regulations. This is our today lesson. So be attentive and understand what is today lesson, which is the biology, laboratory safety rules and regulations. Welcome. So what are the rules and regulations guiding the laboratory for biology? First, you have to know that there should be no loud talking or running in the laboratory. If you go in the laboratory of biology, you have to know that there is no loud talking, running in the laboratory. Any disturbance in the laboratory is not allowed. You have to sit down, keep quiet, and follow the lesson. Next, never perform experiments that have not been approved by your teacher. If you reach in the laboratory, you have to sit and follow teacher guides. If a teacher can't perform a specific experiment, you are not allowed to perform that experiment while your teacher did not do it. Number 3, never handle any apparatus or chemical unless you have been told to do so. You have to know that if a teacher did not tell you that take this apparatus and move to this place, from the teacher recommend, you are not allowed to take it without permission. Do not touch or tamper with any gas taps, sockets, or switch lighting the. So, never eat or drink while in laboratory. Food or drink could be contaminated by bacteria. You have to understand that. Don't do it because a teacher is nearby you, but you have to know that all substances that are in laboratory are already contaminated by what? Bacteria. First aid kit. This is first aid kit. A first aid kit is a collection of supplies and equipments for use in giving first aid and can be put together for the purpose by an individual, organization, or purchased complete. So there is a wide variation in the content of first aid kits based on the knowledge and the experience of those putting it together. The differing first aid requirements of the area where it may be used and the variation in legislation or regulation in a given area. So first aid kits, these are a collection of supplies, those system that is put by the government to generate different equipments to the specific laboratories according to the different schools, and this process can be purchased by the government or purchased by the school, and it is what we call first aid kit. So a first aid kit is a collection of supply and equipment for use in given first aid. And you know that if a laboratory is already open, or we take a system of opening laboratory to the specific school, they have to put there a first aid kit. Also, for any mistake or for any accident that occurred in a laboratory, this first aid kit is ready to handle that problem. So, and it can be put together for the purpose by individual, organization, or to purchase complete. The international standard of the first aid kits is that they should be identified with the graphical symbol for first aid, which is an equal white cross or a green background. So although many kits do not comply with this standard, either because they are put together by an individual or they predate the standards. So subtopic area, this is what we call classification of living things. Unit 2, this introduction to classification. So classification is a grouping things together on the basis of feature they have in common. So classification, you have to know that it's a grouping things. You have to make a group. For instance, I can give you a certain diversity of different things, and I told you to group according to different or basic features so they have in common. So this, if you do that function, you are doing what you call classification. In other words, it is the arrangement of organisms into a hierarchy of groups on the basis of their similarities. Example, species are grouped according to shared characteristics believed to be derived from a common ancestors. So this arrangement of organisms into a hierarchy is what we call a classification. What is a taxonomy? So a taxonomy is the science of classification, and it has two branches. You have to know that the science that are likely to be used in the process of classification is what we call taxonomy, and it has two branches. And the first branch is the naming of organisms or nomenclature. So in the process of classification, the one branch that you have to deal with, you have to know that you first, before you classify the living organism, classify them according to their names, by name organism or the nomenclature. Second one is the pricing of organisms. It later is done on the basis of similarities and differences of the organism. If you first name the organism, then place it according to their names. Taxonomy, one group, taxa, two or more group. If you say taxon, it is one group, or taxon is one group, whereas taxa is two or more groups. So biological nomenclature. What is biological nomenclature? Biological nomenclature is based on the binomial system pioneered by the work of the Swedish naturalist Carl Linnaeus. Linnaeus in 1707 to 1778. In this system, each organism has two Latin names. The Linnaeus is the Swedish naturalist who tried to put forward, who postulated the statement about biological nomenclature is based on the binomial system. Is the one who do this, and he tried to put in a system. Each organism has two Latin names, a generic name and a specific name. So he's the one who said that a living organism have to have a scientific name with two names, and the first one stands for generic name and the second name stands for specific name, where a generic name beginning with a capital letter, whereas a specific name beginning with a small letter. These are examples. Homo sapiens. Homo is a generic name. Sapiens is a specific name. So, and Umbricarius scortina, Umbricarius carenta, and Trypanosoma magimbensis. So these are examples of a specific name and a generic name, and this is a scientific name. So a taxonomic hierarchy in descending order. Let us see a taxonomic hierarchy in descending order, since descending order is moving from the smallest to the highest. So there is what you call a kingdom. The kingdom is this is a descending order. Descending order, as usual, it is from the largest and to the smallest. So a kingdom is the largest and most inclusive group. This is the first group of the taxonomic hierarchy. Next is phylum, comprises the organisms constructed on a similar plan, followed by class, group of order within a phylum, followed by order, group of apparently related families. So the family is a group of apparently related genera. Genus is a group of similar and related species, where species represents the first level of classification. This is the system. Life, first is kingdoms. You have to know the phylum of that kingdom. You have to know the class of that phylum. You have to know the order of that class. You have to know the family of that order, and you have to know the genera of that family, and you have to know the species of that genera. So let us see 5 kingdoms of living things. What are the 5 kingdoms of living things? First kingdom is what we call Monera. What is a Monera kingdom? What comprises Monera kingdom? What feature represents Monera kingdom? What reason we call a living organism to be classified into Monera kingdom? This is what we call general characteristics of the Monera kingdom. So Monera kingdom, they are made up of eukaryotic cells. Means that Monera kingdom have only one cell or have single cell. So they included all bacteria and cyanobacteria. These are examples of Monera kingdom. If you know here there is bacteria and cyanobacteria, call it a kingdom of Monera. And they lack nucleus. They don't have nucleus. For example, we have microbes of tuberculosis. For microbes of tuberculosis, what we call Bacillus cocci is one example of Monera kingdom. So next kingdom is what we call Protista or Protoctista. Protoctista kingdom is the second kingdom of animal kingdom, and here is different general characteristic of Protoctista kingdom. They are unicellular or single cells. Also, the Protoctista they have only one cell. They include protozoa, protophytes, and imperfect fungi. So if you have different protophytes and protozoa, you have to know that they are included in the kingdom of living things, which is called the Protoctista, and the imperfect fungi. So they have a various type of nutrition, including photosynthesis, e.g. Chlamydomonas are able to carry out photosynthesis. They are autotrophic. So you have to know that they have method of feeding or nutrition where they like to carry out photosynthesis, like Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas are able to carry out photosynthesis because they are autotrophs and they possess photosynthetic pigment. So Protoctista also they reproduce both asexually and sexually. These are the features of Protoctista. So they are microscopic organisms, i.e. they are only what? Seen with microscope. Yeah. So let us see the third kingdom of living things is what we call fungi. So fungi, they have general characteristic and they are made up of eukaryotic cells. So means they have eukaryotic cell, and eukaryotic cell we find that they possess many nucleus. Yeah. And they do not have a chlorophyll. They are heterotrophs. Means if they are heterotrophs, they try to make they depend on another living organism. Yes. Whereas for the autotrophs, they make their own food. So if they depend on another living organism, they can be a parasite. So fungi, they need moist condition in which to grow. So in order fungi to grow, they need moist. Moist, it's the cool square, and moist is full of water. Yeah, the condition is full of water. Yes. And let us see another kingdom is what we call plants kingdom or kingdom Plantae. So kingdom Plantae, they have different general characteristics. First, the organisms are made up of eukaryotic cell, means they have many nucleus. The body of organism is multicellular, so formed by many cells which perform different functions. So means their body of plant kingdom or Plantae are multicellular, and means they have many cells, and means according to the specific cell they have specific function to accomplish. Means they have different or they perform different function. They include the plants. So in this class Plantae, this kingdom, Plantae, it contains plants like maize, beans, cowpeas, and so on. So animals is another kingdom of living organism, which is called also kingdom Animalia. They have different characteristics in general, whereas we find the first characteristic is the organisms are made up of eukaryotic. So also they possesses different, their cells possesses different nucleus. Yeah, many nuclei. Yes, and to be eukaryotic cell also simply means they have many cells with specific function, with specific nucleus. So the body of the organism is multicellular, formed by many cells. So many cells, for being multicellular, it simply means they have different functions to perform according to the type of cell. They feed heterotrophically, they do not photosynthesize, means they make they depend on another living organism. Yes, they feed from plants or from other living organism. Most animals are motile, so they are able to move. Yes, if animal is motile, means they move from one place to another. So this is our unit 2, which is talking about the taxonomy. As the second unit, this is called Introduction to Classification, and we see different groups, different features of different kingdoms according to the classification in nomenclature. So now let us stop from here on this classification, and we will continue the unit 3, which is called External Structure and Importance of Flowering Plants. Thank you for watching my video. See you at the next lesson on the external structure and the importance of flowering plants, which is unit 3. Remember to make subscribe, comments, share, and like. Thank you. God bless you.